Hello, my name is Sandeep and welcome you all to my channel. Today in class we are going to discuss quadratic equation. Basically there are 5 marks from this topic and the weightage of the topic is high. So we have to learn how to solve this kind of question, and that too within 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, that is most important thing. Basically there are 4 types of quadratic equations are there. So here like ax square bx c equals to 0. Okay, this is the basic structure of quadratic equation, and here a denotes coefficient, this x is the variable, and this c is the constant number. Next thing is factor, sign and comparison. This is the most important thing. Like each quadratic equation have 2 factors. Okay, and each factor have a different sign that can be positive or can be negative, and we have to compare both the factors of x with factors of y. Okay, the important thing is how to put sign. This is the basic structure of sign. Okay, this is basically the input or the question, like, and this one is bigger value, smaller value. B denotes bigger value, S denotes smaller value. Okay, so there are 4 kind of quadratic equation. So tabular structure based on this quadratic equations. So like in our first equation, 2 signs are, first is positive and second is positive, that is positive and positive. Okay, so our resultant should be negative and negative, both the bigger value as well as smaller value, both should be in negative. So resultant would be negative only. But the important thing is we have to write bigger value this side and smaller value that side. Okay, this is the main concept. Always put your bigger value in that side and smaller value on another side. Okay, so next sign is minus and plus. Minus and plus, when both the values are minus and plus, then your resultant would be positive, that is both the value is plus and plus, bigger value and smaller value both will be positive. Okay, like we can see over here, if our values are minus and plus, then resultant should be positive, both the value are positive. Next is plus and minus. When our values are plus and minus, then the factor value will be minus and plus. So make a habit to put bigger value on left side and smaller value on right side, so you will not make any mistakes while putting the sign. Last one is minus minus. When both the values are minus, then your resultant would be plus and minus. So that means the smaller will the bigger value would be positive and smaller factor will be in negative. Okay, this is the basic structure. If we learn this table, then putting the sign is easier. Here we take an example how to put a sign. So suppose my question is x square minus 7x plus 12 equals to 0. The question is x square minus 7x plus 12 equals to 0. So definitely if my sign is minus plus, then the resultant would be in positive, that is both the value in positive. That is true. Now what will be the factors? So if I factorize this 12, so I get 4 into 3, that is 4 into 3 is 12, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So always put bigger value on left side and smaller value on right side. How to learn this sign conversion? So if I say both the values are positive, then resultant will be negative. First one is, if question is minus and plus, then result will be plus and plus. If question is plus and minus, then result will be in minus and plus. If the question is minus, then the result will be plus and minus. If you remember this thing, by using this table, you can get always correct values. Okay. Now we will learn how to remember this structure. Okay. Basically, there are two question mark concept. Okay. We have to follow this question mark to learn the table. How? See, wherever the question mark, put plus sign over there. Okay, and as well as over this. Okay, now after doing that, just draw a line. So simple. Now in the remaining place you have to put negative sign, that is pause the video and try to make this structure using two question marks. Okay, now we will move to questions. So these are the types of questions. First question is x square minus 8x plus 15 equals to 0. Okay, value of y is y square minus 12 plus 36 equals to 0. Okay, now you will learn how important is this table. So my suggestion, learn that question mark trick to remember this structure. Okay, like here questions, like here in question the sign are negative and positive, so definitely the resultant will be in positive. Okay, now how to get the factor values? So if I see this 15, so if I factorized 15, I will get 5 and 3, that is 5 into 3 is 15. Okay, and if I add this two value, that is 5 plus 3, I get the value 8. So my two factors are plus 5 and plus 3. And remember one thing, always put bigger value on left side. Okay, here the sign is minus and plus, so definitely the resultant would be in positive only. Okay, so if I factorize this 36, I get 6 into 6 as 36. So my result would be positive 6 and positive 6. So we got the value of x is positive 5, positive 3, and for the y is positive 6 and positive 6. So definitely while comparing, we can easily say that the value of y is greater than x, or the value of x is less than y. Both is same. Okay, moving to next question. If I factorize value 20, I'll get 5 and 4. Okay, so and while adding 5 and 4, I get 9. So my values are, factor values are 5 and 4. Always put bigger value on left side. Make a habit of that. Okay. Now sign conversion. In my question, both the values are in positive. So definitely in my answer, both the values should be in negative structure. Okay. Here, y square equals to 16. So remember one thing. When you get the power of 2, always there are two type of sign. That is y equals to positive 4 and negative 4. Okay, so y would be in two form, that is positive and negative. Just remember this thing. When power is in even number, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, so definitely our resultant would be in two structure, that is one is a positive and another one is negative. Okay, so here minus 5 is less than both the values of y, that is positive 4 and negative 4, but minus 4 is less than positive 4, but it is equals to minus 4. So we have to put the sign x is less than and equals to y. X is less than or equals to y. Moving to our next question. X square minus 14x plus 48 equals to 0. So by factoring this, we will get 8 and 6. 8 6 are 48, and by adding 8 and 6 we will get 14. Okay, so our factors are 8 and 6. Now, so in question, signs are negative and positive, so definitely in our answer sign will be in positive. Negative positive becomes positive and positive. Okay, next 90 can be 10 and 9. Okay, factor of 90 can be 10 and 9. 10 into 9 is 90, but while adding 10 plus 9 I get only 19, not the 23. Okay, so further I can write 10 as 5 into 2 and 9 as 3 into 3. Okay, and remember one thing, when our middle factor is odd number, then the factors value, one would be odd number and one would be even number. Okay, like if I see over here, if the middle value is even number, then factor can be both odd number or both even number. That means here 5 and 3 both is odd number. When our middle term is odd number, one of our factor would be odd and one is even. Okay, like here middle value is even number, so both the terms are even. Here middle value is 23, that is odd number, so definitely our factor one would be even number and another would be odd number. Okay, so by using this number we can make a value like 18 and 5. 3 into 3 9, 9 into 2 18. 18 is odd even number and 5 is odd number, so 18 plus 5 is 23 and 18 into 5 is 19. Okay, So what will be the sign? Definitely minus plus becomes plus and plus. Okay, so by comparing, here is value of x is 8 and 6 and the value of y is 18 and 5. So definitely this is not comparable, or the relation cannot be determined. Next question. Here, remember one thing, when middle value is even number, both the factor will be either even or odd. If the middle term is odd number, definitely one factor will be in even and another factor will be in odd. Okay, so by factoring 35, I get 7 into 5 as 35. So definitely my result will be 7 plus 7 and 5, because while adding 7 plus 5 I get 12. So both the values are odd number. And how to get sign? So positive and positive becomes negative and negative. From this table, if both the values are in positive, result would be in negative. Okay, next, here we have one coefficient value, that is 3. By default the coefficient value is 1. This is 1x 1y. Okay, so either to write 1x or x, both are same. So here our coefficient value is 3. Factor of 20 would be 5 into 4. Okay, our values are 5, 4 and 3, and we have to make two factors, so that addition should be 19. Okay, and remember one thing, if middle value is odd number, one factor would be odd and another factor would be even. Okay, so 5 3s are 15 and that 4. So 15 plus 4 equals to 19. 20 into 3 is 60, as well as 15 into 4 equals to 60. Now sign. If both the values are positive, then result would be negative. Okay, but remember one thing, when you have coefficient more than 1, okay, more than 1, then you have to divide this value by that coefficient. Okay, that is minus 15 by 3 and minus 4 by 3. When your coefficient value is 1, need not divide using 1, because if I write 7 divided by 1, that is 7 only. So there is no need to divide using 1. Remember one thing, instead of dividing the value, we can do another method. What is that? Here coefficient value is 1 and here coefficient value is 3. Instead of dividing, we can do cross multiplication, that is 3 over here and 1 over there. Okay, so while multiplying 7 and 5, we will get minus 20, 21 and minus 15, and here minus 15 and minus 4. So this one is better as compared to dividing value. Okay, so here comparison is a bit easier as compared to dividing one value. So here you can directly say that y is greater than and equals to x. Why? Because in negative in negative, smaller value will be bigger one and the larger value will be smaller. Okay, that's the basic concept. Now we will move to bit different type of quadratic equation. So here we get the LCM of x. Here we get the LCM is under root x because the value is 1. So x 3 by 2 into x 1 by 2. Under root is actually power 1 by 2 minus 81 equals to 0. Under root 8x multiplied by 0, we will get 0. Okay, so power 3 by 2 and power 1 by 2 will get x power 4 by 2 and equals to 81. Okay, so 4 by 2 equals to 2, that means x square equals to 81. So x will be positive and negative 9. As we discussed in a previous question, when the power is even number, then there will be two kind of factors, that is one is negative and another one is positive. Okay, here under root 16 is 4, then y square equals to 10 square is 100. 100 minus 19 is 81. So root of 81 is 9. Root of 81 is 9. While converting root value, we will get only one value, that is positive or negative. So next is y square equals to 9 by 4. So y equals to positive and negative 3 by 2. Okay, so factors of x is positive 9 and negative 9, and the factors of y is positive 3 by 2 and negative 3 by 2. So definitely without comparing this value, we directly can say that the relation cannot be determined. Next question is x cube minus 125. So x will be 5. What is the reason behind that? Like if I say positive 5 into positive 5 into positive 5, that means my resultant will be in positive, that is positive 125. But if I take negative 5 into negative 5 into negative 5, that means negative negative becomes positive and positive and negative becomes negative. So my result will be minus 125. So remember one thing, when your value is positive, you will get positive factor. When your value is negative, you will get negative factor. Okay, so you got x equals to positive 5. Here the power of y is even number, so definitely you will get one positive and one negative value. So y power 4 is 625. You can write like y power 2 equals to 625. So y power 2 equals to 25 and y equals to positive and negative 5. Okay, so remember one thing, whenever you get even number as your power, the result will be always in positive as well as in negative. But whenever your power is in odd number, the result will be depend on the value. Like if your value is positive, you will get positive factors, and your value is negative, you will get negative factor. Okay. Next is same method. So here you will get 17x equals to 17, because cube root of 4913 is 17, and y equals to 361. So the value of y will be 19, that is positive 19 and negative 19, because the power is even number. Okay, so if we compare this, 17 is less than 19, positive 19, but 17 is greater than negative 19. So we can say that cannot establish the relationship. Okay. Now, okay, so if I take LCM, so I get root x, and 4 plus 6 equals to 10. So root x and 10 equals to 5 root x. If I multiply this root x, then I will get 10 equals to 5x. That means value of x is 10 by 5 equals to 2. Okay, see how easy is this one. Next, y square plus root 256. Root 256 equals to 16, and root 625. Root 625 is 25. Okay, so definitely y square will be 25 minus 16, that is 9, and y will be positive 3 and negative 3. Why? Because a power value is even number. Okay, so here also we cannot establish the relationship, as 2 is less than positive 3, but 2 is greater than negative 3. Okay.
In today's session, we have discussed the concept of quadratic equation along with some basic questions. The important thing is this tabular structure. So my suggestion is kindly learn this structure using that question mark trick. In part 2, we will discuss root based quadratic equations, as well as like which have 3 digits in their constant number. Okay, and for the link you will get in the description box. Thank you so much.